His name is Stephen, and I think pretty much all of you know that he is the principal of our school, just down the street. And that is a very important ministry that he engages in. But that's not what we're going to talk about here this morning, because Stephen is also engaged in a different kind of ministry, a different kind of community outreach. As a matter of fact, Stephen is the president-elect of what is called a Rotary Club. So Stephen, what is a Rotary Club?
Actually, it's an international organization that is much bigger than anything that I do here. I'm not the president-elect of Rotary International. That's just crazy. But in Zephyrhills, there are a couple groups of Rotarians that meet, and the Noon Club in Zephyrhills is what Pastor Jonathan is talking about.
Yes.
First of all, how many of you have been or are involved in Rotary clubs? Somewhere, okay? A few hands, all right. It's one of these organizations where you have business leaders who meet in a town to not really talk about our businesses so much, but it's to talk about the community, on how we can work together to make the area in which we work better by serving it as individuals. And so, we get together weekly and talk about what's going on in the community. We bring in people from different organizations to talk about maybe it's a ministry in town, maybe it's a nonprofit in town, maybe it's an event coming up that we can do something to help. There's a huge variety of things that we talk about. But it's a group of people that get together that have a really neat mission, and we say it every week before we dismiss, and it's service above self. And and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be part of it. I was so impressed by that concept of business leaders who believed in the same things that we believe in, that we are here to serve, that leaders serve. So that's basically what it's all about.
Very good. So as being a part of a local group of Rotarians, okay, you guys obviously talk about what you can do here in the community. What are some of the projects that you guys are actively engaging in or are planning for the future?
Well, there are a lot, and I've gotten the signal that we're to keep this only mission a few minutes. But there are lots of things that we do. Things like collecting food around holidays to give to homeless students at schools. We actually do a lot for the youth of the community, which is one of the reasons why I really appreciate our local club, because that's also, my passion. Our passion for this community is the youth. We collect food. And we collect school supplies. We do international things like collect money for shelter boxes, which are, it's a box full of necessary items that when a tragedy hits, especially in a poverty-stricken part of the world, like the earthquake in Haiti, those types of projects, that these boxes get sent over. And so sometimes we're out doing things, and sometimes we're raising money to send for items.
Awesome. All right, and you mentioned a little bit earlier, a little bit of why you joined Rotary Club, but remind us once again, why did you join Rotary Club? What draws you to it? Why would you even want to be president?
Well, because I need more to do, actually. When I had only been here a few months, a manager of a local bank just called me up, as lots of people call organizations to try to get you to use their services or their product or whatever. And so I normally now say, we're happy, we're good. But for whatever reason, I felt like, maybe I should talk to this person. And she came over, and we talked for a long time about her business for a while, but then she asked about Adventists. Obviously we were meeting at the school, and she said, "Who are Adventists? What do you guys believe? What do you, what makes an Adventist, like you were talking about?" And so we talked for a long time, and we started talking about doctrinal issues, and we started having a little Bible study, and I was like, whoa. You never, you don't prepare for these kinds of conversations. I mean, you do prepare, but you don't know these things are going to happen. And then she brought up the concept. She said, you know what? We have this organization in town called Rotary. Have you ever heard of it? And I said, yeah, I've heard of Rotary. You always see the wheels on signs in town, in every town, everywhere. It's an American tradition, and it's a worldwide tradition. So I had heard of it, and so she talked to me a little bit about it, invited me to come, and I've just really enjoyed being part of a group of people that I would have never met otherwise, because my whole world centers around the school and the church. But I mean, my whole world. And this is an opportunity to meet people and to be involved in the community as a whole, because that's obviously who we're here for. Not just ourselves, not just for our kids in our school, but we're trying to teach them that they're here for the community too. And so I thought that was a neat opportunity to put myself into that also.
Awesome, excellent. So perhaps not everybody can rush now and talk to you to join Rotary Club. They may not even be able to join the Rotary Club. But what are some ways that we can partner as individuals with the Rotary Club to help if we really believe in what you're doing?
The neatest thing about any organization like Kiwanis or Rotary is the reality that it's just people. It's just individuals who are wanting to make a difference outside of themselves, outside of their business, or their church, because obviously most of these people are churchgoers, and most of them are involved there too. But this is a way just to do something different. And so, yeah, it's not really the type of organization that is designed that everybody just kind of floods in and joins. If you're a business leader, that's kind of how they defined it, and there's a range there of what that means. But if you're a business leader, then you can be invited to join. But other than that, really, and as Marius and I partner with the school and the church with Rotary a little more, we'll bring projects and we'll bring things that we can do to help. But mostly, it's a really neat opportunity for us to share who we are and who Jesus is with people, because we sit and we eat. Because it's a lunchtime and it's a lunch meeting, and we talk about religion all the time, and because people ask us, because they know we're the Adventists, and who are you guys? And so they ask us things all the time about religion, and about the Bible, and about who are you guys and what do you do? And it's a really neat opportunity, and we need prayer for that. I guess that's my plea for you, is if you could remember to just pray for us, pray for the other business leaders in town. There are some fantastic people in this town who need a lot of God's guidance also. And they know it, actually. I mean, we get together and we have prayer. I mean, we have prayer at Rotary. And I really appreciate that, even though it's not intended to be a religious organization, and we aren't there to push our religious beliefs. I mean, and when we don't, but we're there to be just individuals who are there to share who we are.
Thank you. And we thank you, Stephen, for sharing with us today. And it's kind of a challenge to us. Jesus calls us to be salt and light to the world. And we can sometimes get caught up about doing things inwardly, okay? And that's important. I wouldn't say Christian education is not important. It's important. But it's also important that we engage with the community and engage with people who would not know us otherwise. And so it's a challenge to us to be salt, be light. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing a little bit of the way you're doing that in your life.
You're welcome.